guys, welcome back to Diddy Reviews. Today we're going to be looking at this case from Phanteks. This is a Phanteks 719, previously known as the Luxe 2. So if you see Luxe 2 on the system anywhere, then you'll know why. It used to be called the Luxe 2, but it's now called the 719. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to look through the case, show you the features of the case, the build quality, show you how you remove all the panels, things like that. Basically give you an overview of what the case is about. And then basically I'm going to wrap up with my thoughts at the end. We're not going to be building this today. Obviously the best way to see how good a case is to building it, but that is going to be in a later video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And for that, please subscribe and like this video if you do like it, obviously. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. But basically if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Basically I'm going to take you through this case and I'll show you what it's all about. Right, so first of all, let's talk about the accessory kit you get with it. So this is the accessory kit, nice big accessory kit for this. It's really good quality, full colour manual from Phanteks, which is really good, so it shows you everything you need to know in there. I've looked through it, it does tell you pretty much everything about this case, how to fit and install everything. So that's really good to see. And then we've got various few little bits inside this case. So this bit here, if you didn't know, this case is capable of taking two systems, so it's capable of taking up to an E80X board and I believe a server board as well, and then also as a second system you can fit a mini ITX system, and for that you'd need this bracket here, so you just fit that in. Currently installed on the case is the bracket for fitting a second power supply, so you can do that as well. So they've kind of thought of a lot of things here. Obviously this case isn't for everyone, everyone's going to want to do that, and personally I'm not going to be doing two systems in it. However, it's a case I've wanted for quite a while, I've been looking at, and I finally got hands on one, so I'm quite excited about this case. I just think it looks really good as well. Then within this box you've got this bracket here, is the bracket for a vertical GPU mount. You do need to buy the riser cable separately for this, so that is an extra cost if you want to install it vertically, which I will hopefully be doing. I just need to get a hold of a riser cable. And then in each of these little bags, there's 4 of these, is basically a little hard drive sled, I suppose you could call it. So you can install a 3.5 or 2.5 SSD in there, sorry, 3.5 HDD. And you get 4 of those and they can stack inside the case, and I'll show you that a little bit later on. So let's take all of those out. I don't need to show you all of those. And then inside this one, that's one side again. Inside this one you have a GPU anti-sag bracket. Does what it says on the tin. Stops your GPU from sagging, so that's nice that they've included that. Yeah, you don't see that in a lot of cases. And then again, inside this other hard drive sled, let's call it a sled, is, if I can get it out, which I don't seem to be able to, which is not good, finally got it out, is basically a box of screws. So it's nice to have included like a whole nice little toolkit basically for all the different screws you're going to need for installing to this case, not just chucked them in different bags. So they're all nicely arranged inside there for what you're going to need them for. So we'll pop that back in there and put that down out of the way. So that's the accessory box that you get with it. Now let's talk about the case. So let's just start from the front basically. As you can see from the front here, nice finish. Nice. I've got the gunmetal grey. This does come in a black as well, so it comes in an all black. Front panels, really nice, good quality. I believe it's all made out of steel, apart from the feet, which are made out of plastic. So it's not aluminium, so obviously it's not as good as maybe something like the Lion Lee Dynamic, which I believe is all made out of aluminium, so it's a bit higher quality. However, nice sturdy construction, and there's this little flap here, shows you your I/O, your front I/O. So you've got 4 USB 3, USB-C, your audio in and out, and obviously your reset buttons, and and you've also got modes for the lighting system. Now let's talk about the lighting system. So on this case, it's got ARGB built in, so addressable RGB. You've got a light strip that runs along the bottom here, up the side, and then across the top as well, which can be synced to your motherboard all major motherboard software it can be synced to, so you can basically have it all synced together and just doing the same effects throughout. So let's have a look. To get the front panel off, you have to take the top panel off, so you just slide this backwards and lift that away so that the whole top panel comes off. And then to get the front panel, again, slide it upwards, and then the front panel off. So as you can see now, obviously the I/O again, nice big dust filter here, which is magnetic, so you literally just pull it and it comes away, which is really good. Nice full size dust filter in there. And then here we've got mountings for your fans or radiators. So this can fit up to a 480mm radiator or 4x 120mm fans, or both if you're doing that way. And it can also fit 3 140mm fans or a 420mm radiator if you wanted to do that, if you're going for water cooling. This case is obviously large, you can tell it's really big. The case I've got there is the Corsair 780T. That's a huge case. As you can see, it's pretty much a similar size, a little bit shorter, but that's about it. But that is standing on some quite high feet. So it's a huge case, so it is geared up for quite a lot of water cooling, and I will talk you through that as we go through. Like I said, the first one is up to a 480mm radiator here, which I have got, so that's what we're going to be doing when I actually do building that. Pop that back on, nice, like I say, just magnetic, and that's that bit there. And the bit you can probably see up here is obviously where your switches are for your power and the likes there. Whilst we're here, whilst we've got that top cover off, I'll talk to you about the top. And up here again is another dust filter, magnetic, comes straight off. And up here we can have up to 360mm radiator or 3x 120mm fans, or we can get a 360mm radiator up there, so that's really good. I don't believe you can fit any 140s up there, but don't quote me on that. You might be able to fit 2 up there actually. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, you'll be able to fit 2 140mm up there. So that's that bit there. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to spin it round and I'll show you the side panels. For the first side panel, so this is a full tempered glass side panel. As you can see, it's brand new, so it's still got the wrap on it. And obviously I want to keep it in good condition before actually building it, and that will come off right at the end. As you can see, Luxe 2 is mentioned on the side. As I said, that's what it used to be called. So to open this, it's basically stuck in with a magnet, clips in at the front there, which is really good. It's really sturdy as well, it's not just going to flap about. And one thing I was quite impressed with is for transit, they actually put some bolts in there to stop it from just flapping about inside the box. Not that it could, but you know. So obviously you open a big, massive tempered glass panel, and that can come off as well to make it easy to build in. All you do is, once you've opened it, is lift it off its hinges, and there it is, it's off. So we put that out of the way. And then we've got the inside. As you can see, it's absolutely huge inside. There's so much room in here. So I'm hoping it's going to be really, really easy to work inside. So what we're going to do, we're going to start from the bottom here. So at the bottom, again, you can stick up to a 480mm radiator in here. Let me just double check that, so I don't tell you the wrong information. So yeah, water cooling at the bottom, sorry, up to a 360mm radiator at the bottom, or 3 120mm fans. And for the top, you can't get a 140mm fans in there. It is just 120mm fans, but you can get up to 3 of those in there in the top. So let's just leave that out so I've got some point of reference. So at the bottom, this is the only one which has a removable radiator tray. Someone really strong has put that in, so let me undo that. It's just held in by one thumb screw, but as I say, it's been put in quite tight, so I'm just going to remove that with a screwdriver. Really tight, to be fair. So one thumb screw comes out, and then he says, then you slide it forwards, and out comes the tray. So you can take that out and install your radiator or your fans and your radiator to that, and then you're good to go. And also with that, I'll show you these sleds. So these can fit in here as well. So you can see at the bottom there's this bit here, so you can stack these along there. So you can put your, basically, so you can have it so your hard drives or your if you want to put SSDs in them, they're stacked in the corner here, which is, this bit here is where your mini ITX system would go. Let me just remove that to show you. So you've got your mounting points here, so you just install your standoffs there, these points here, and then you attach your mini ITX board to that. So that's that bit covered. Obviously rubber grommets everywhere for hiding your cables away, nice and clean, it's nice to see. So that's really good. And then basically working up at the back here, obviously your normal PCIe slots are here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 full-size PCIe slots there for installing obviously graphics cards and any other PCIe add-ins you might have. And then also, if you can see here, there's vertical PCIe slots. So that is for vertical mounting your GPU or whatever you might want to do, such as capture cards, things like that. You can get up to 2, depending on the size of the GPU, you can get 2 vertically mounted GPUs here. And with the bottom system, with that bracket, you can also vertically mount your, if you have a GPU on it or a capture card, if you're going to use it for a streaming system at the bottom, you can also do that there. Again, like I say, you don't get the riser cables, so that's something extra you do need to purchase if you so wish to do that. Then moving up to the motherboard tray, as I said, massive standoffs there. You can fit up to a server board in here, which is good if you wanted to put a server in here. Obviously it's got the room for it, so it's really good. And also when you've got the board in, from what I've seen, it doesn't cover your grommeted holes, so you can still get your cables in nice and easily and not have any issues. This cable here is for, what is that for? That will be for your RGB light there. Sorry, no, that's not for your RGB light, that's for the fan hub, which I'll get to in a bit. And then down this side we've got these little covers, so these can be removed. You have a look at how you do that. Literally just pop out, and you've got 4 of these. So these are basically meant for installing SSDs, so you can install SSDs all down that side if you want to. But what majority of people will probably do, which is what I'm going to do, is remove all of these, if I can. Pop that out, pop that out, and pop that one out. And then basically you've got another section here for fans and water cooling. So you can get up to a 480mm radiator here again, or 4 times 120mm fans, which again is really good. So you could take obviously intake fans on the front, and you can have it, and your radiator at the front, and you can have it literally sucking that hot air straight out at the back or at the side of the case, which is really good. So you can install that there. So there's plenty of options for water cooling, as I mentioned. I'll just put those covers to one side. And then, as you can see around this case as well, there's foam all the way around there to stop the door from clattering when it closes and that kind of thing, to hold it nice and snug. And that's that there really. So that's the inside of the case. And then let me just flip this round quickly. And then this is the back of the case. Obviously there's not a lot to talk about on the back of the case. They're pretty much standard. So fan exhaust there, only 120mm fan there. Would have been nice to see a 140. Let's have a quick look. No, sorry, I'm lying. There's up to 140mm fan or radiator can go here. So you can get a 140mm fan there, which is nice. So you can have that as your exhaust. And then obviously this is where IO shield will go, PCIe slots, vertical PCIe slots. And then here is where you put your power supply, in this section here. This is where your standard power supply will go. One thing I've got to mention is if you are wanting to put 2 systems in this, then you do need to buy the Revolt X from Phanteks, which is capable of powering 2 systems. I think they're around 220 they start from, so it can be quite expensive if you want to put two systems in it, but there you go, there's that. And then this panel here, this is the panel that you can remove. This is basically so you can put an extra power supply in here. This is the panel for that, and then this is the panel that you remove to put your panel in for a second system. So this just unscrews, you pop that other panel back on, and away you go, you can stick your second system in. So that's the back done. There's not a lot to talk about behind there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at this back panel. I'll show you the panel first before I take it off and show you inside. So you've also got tempered glass here, which is good. So you've got a tempered glass window, and this is to basically show off your SSDs that you've got installed. Obviously this is really good if you've got RGB SSDs. I unfortunately don't have any RGB SSDs, but what I might do is run a LED light strip in there to show that off a little bit. But that's nice tempered glass panel there to show you off your installed hardware. Down here there is a filtered vent for the fan on your power supply unit, as your power supply unit stands on its side rather than face down. So there's that there, and then here again is the vent for the side mounting for your fans and radiators. So there's that there. So what we do is just take off these two thumb screws. I believe these ones are captive, which is good. So they're captive, so they're going to stay on your panel, you're not going to lose those. Let's just put that down out the way. And then this is the back panel that you've got here. Right, so again we'll start from the bottom. That I've mentioned in terms of the fan mounting positions. And also, let me just quickly talk through these. Your filters are removable here as well. So you can remove these dust filters if you wish, obviously for cleaning, things like that, for both the fans and the power supply. So that's nice to see. And then basically, right, okay, so on the back panel we have this cover here, which is for hiding your cables, which is just two thumb screws that come off, and then you can hide your cables behind that. I'm not going to bother taking that off because it's pretty self-explanatory. What's this down here? There is a cable down there. I'm not really sure what that one's for, but there is a cable down there. And so yeah, that's that there. Also your I/O cables are tucked away in here at the moment, for your front panel I/O and on-off switch, reset switch, that kind of thing. And with that, if you do get a second system put in this, you basically repurpose the reset switch to power on your second system. So that's something you can do there. Then moving up, these are obviously the mounting points for the SSDs that I showed you through the glass window. These literally just slide up and pop off. Nice and easy to remove, so if you don't want to use them, you could remove them or you can just leave them there. And then you just install your SSDs to that, and then you literally just pop them back on, nice and easy. And there's three of those, so you can stick three SSDs back there, you can stick SSDs down this side, you can stick SSDs in the hard drive sleds if that's something you want to do. So there's a lot of options for storage in this as well. And then obviously you've got these tie down points here, you've got 3 Velcro points for cable management to tie your cables away, as well as this door here, again to tie your cables away. So you shouldn't have any problems with cable management in this, as they've really thought that through. And there's also a little bit of a gap down the sides, down both ends, to run cables, to keep those tied out that way. And there is the possibility, I suppose, of putting some tie wraps in there. There's a few points here to tie wrap some cables down to make it even tidier. And that's that. Again, more cables there for your I/O, and one of them will be for the RGB as well. And then right at the top here, we've actually got a fan splitter. So you've got this connection at the end here, it goes to your motherboard for controlling it, and then you've also got 1, 2, 3, 4 PWM 4-pin slots for 4 fans on there, and another 3 pins. So you've got that as well, which is really good. So that's the back panel really. Not a lot much to talk about. I mean, in terms of build quality throughout, like I say, it's steel. Some of it feels like if you were a bit too heavy-handed, maybe you could bend it. You might be able to see a bit of flex there. But obviously if you're not going to be too aggressive with it, you're going to be fine. So there's that there. A couple of things I didn't get to mention at the start. One is just filter at the bottom for the fans or radiator or whatever you put down there. Slides out from the front, nice and easy, none of this sliding out from the back making it difficult. That goes in there, slides out nice and easy, slides back in nice and easy. Really easy. Everything's been thought of really well on this case. So, you know, like I say, they've thought of everything. You've got water cooling support, air cooling support, support for a second system, support for SSDs, support for HDDs, pretty much everything. Like I say, even you can get a second power supply in there if you want some dual redundancy in your power supply. Again, talking about water cooling, at the top here, it's hard to show you on the camera, at the top they've actually included a fill port, so you can put a pass-through on there or whatever you want to put on there to fill your water cooling system. And then right down at the bottom here, you can stick another pass-through there and you can actually drain it through there. So that's what I'm going to do in my build. I'm going to have a tap and a drain port right at the bottom there, nice and easy to access, and no issues whatsoever. So that's basically the overview of the case. I hope you really enjoyed seeing that. Like I say, brilliant case. Let's talk about the price. So the price of this in the UK is around about £180, so it's probably about $180 in the US, give or take. Obviously don't quote me on that, the prices can change. But for £180 in the UK, it potentially could be considered as kind of a budget for a full tower. It is a full tower case and it's got a lot going on. However, it's not really low budget. It's kind of I'd say a mid-range for a mid-tower. I mean, you can pay an absolute fortune for one if you want to, but for the price you're paying for this, it is fantastic. Everything's thought through. The features on it are incredible. There's so much going on for this, and for a case that can take two systems, £180 is not a lot of money really. So yeah, that's that. Like I say, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this will give you an insight into the case, give you an idea of whether you want to buy one or not, or whether you want to look at something different. If you're looking at water cooling, you can see what you can actually achieve on this. Obviously with the water cooling, depending on what thickness of radiators and where you put in them, you might be restricted. If you put in a radiator on this side here, then you would struggle to get a radiator on the front as well, or at least a thick radiator anyway. So there is that. Sorry about that, that's my computer going to sleep. So yeah, so there's a lot to talk about in this case, a lot of features, and it is, from what I've seen so far, it is brilliant. But like I say, stay tuned with me. I'm going to do a build in this, and we're going to basically run some tests on it once I've let it build up. It's going to be a water cooling loop in this. It's going to be soft tubing, not hard tubing. I'm not quite there yet. This is going to be my first water cooling system. So I hope you stay tuned, and I hope you come back to watch that video. I hope you enjoy this video. Please, like I say, give us a thumbs up, give us a subscribe, and leave any comments you have in the comment section below. If you've got any insights on this that you want to share with everyone else or with me, then please leave those. Or if you just want to talk about what the case is and want to ask me a question about it, then I can, if I don't already know it, I will research it and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. See you soon.